Hello and welcome to Ignite Guitar Advanced 301. This is week 8. Let's get started. We're going to start with practicing the scales that we learned in, I believe it was week 5 or week 6. We started learning the scale. We learned the G major scale, the G major pentatonic scale, and the G major blues scale. So we're going to take these scales that we've learned and we're going to actually use them, but we're going to move them up all the way to the 12th fret. So we're going to practice playing these scales in each key, in each position. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the G major scale. We're going to play the way we played it a few weeks ago, which is down, up, down, up. We're going to alternate down, up picking patterns. And when we get to the top, we're going to just move over 1/2 step and go back down on the G sharp major scale. So we'll start with the G, and we're going to do 2, 4 on the second finger's on the 6th string on the 3rd fret. So 2, 4, down, up, down, up. And I'm going to go slower so you can go with me. So let's do that. 1, 2, ready, play. Down, up. So it's 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Then we're going to go up 1/2 step. 2, 4, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1. 4, 3, 1, and we're still doing down, up the whole time. 1, 2, 4, or 2, 1, and then 2, 4, 2. Now we're going up. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, and then up 2, 1. Now, once we get this down, we keep going, and we can increase the speed. So once you can't play it well, you need to slow it back just a little bit on the tempo. Practice that tempo where you start on the 1st fret and go all the way to the 12th fret. And then you'll play that as fast as you can, and with playing it correctly. If you want to get a metronome, I would really suggest that for scale practice. You can use a metronome and increase your tempo as you play it correctly, all the way up the neck, and then you're going to come all the way back down after you get to the top. Actually, what you'll do is, you'll go all the way up the 1st position, and you'll go to the next position and come back down, and keep going all the way that way, up, down, up, down, up, down, until you get to the 12th fret. Then you start over. And what you're doing is basically practicing in each key, so that when we play in the key of G, you've already played in that position. When you play in the key of A, you've played in that position. So you're familiar with the idea of this major scale, regardless of where you're playing, whatever key you're in. So, and then once we get that down, we can play rather quickly. So it's going to be 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Then we're going to go up 1/2 step, and we're going to continue going down, up the whole time. Mess that up. But you get the basic idea. You'll start at the 1st part and go all the way to the 12th fret, and you'll increase your speed based on how well you're playing that major scale. And then now we'll move to the G major pentatonic. We'll do the same thing with that. Start on the 1st fret, play the 1 to the 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. We'll move up 1/2 step, come back down. All the way to the 12th fret, and then once you get to the 12th fret, so it's Once you get to the 12th fret, you start over at the 1st fret, okay? And then with the G major blues, same pattern, same idea. We just add a blues note in there. It's going to be 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. Next fret, back down. And you just do that all the way up to the 12th fret. Practice that rhythm at a tempo that you can play correctly. Whichever tempo you need to work on is where you want to start. You want to start where you can play it well and you can play it on tempo so that you can improve your accuracy, improve your right hand picking up, down, up, down, up, down. And then once you have that down, you can move a little bit faster and just continue to move faster until you can play really fast. And that's the case. You want to make that the case on every fret so that you're familiar with the key that you're going to play in, regardless of what it is. Okay, so there's your G major scale, G major pentatonic scale, G major blues scale, and of course when you do that, you also have the minor scales. And I showed you a couple weeks ago how you're going to use that. Eventually you'll take notes inside that major scale and you'll be playing and you'll end on the root note based on whether it's a major or a minor. If you're playing in the key of G, you'll end on the root on the G note when you're doing a riff in that. If you're in the key of E minor, you'll actually end on the E note instead of the G. And so when you're doing your musical chordings or musical sounds, what you're going to do is you're going to ask questions and give an answer. So like if I was going to play in the G major scale and I wanted to pick out in the key of G, and I played the 1, 3, 1, 3 right here in this G major scale, this one. Those notes, I play the 1st and 3rd right here. Those are notes in the major scale. I might hum a question, da, 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 and then answer, da, da, da. And so I want to be able to do those kind of chordings, landing on the root note based on whether we're in the major scale or the minor scale, and I'll play those in a way that will you can hear the intonations in a way that it will land on the root note. Okay, and so you'll get better at that concept. But I would spend the majority of my time right now playing the major scale, playing the pentatonic scale, playing the blues scale in a syncopated type fashion where you're practicing the speed of the scale from the 1st fret all the way to the 12th fret, getting used to playing it on every scale, and then playing chords in a specific key and practicing that major scale in the key, whichever one you're in, and then trying to do, after you do that, trying to make some musical chordings of your own and humming in that key, basically picking out 4 notes in that major scale or 4 notes in the pentatonic scale and making phrasings off of that. So you want to know those 4 notes and then practice playing scales. So I just pick out 4 notes. If I'm doing the pentatonic scale and I'm doing G major and I want to be on the root note, which is the 3rd fret for that G, and here's the pentatonic scale. So say I want to just do 2 of these notes or 4 of those notes right there, and I just want to practice on those 4 notes. I'm gonna use my ear and try to come up with some phrasings inside those 4 notes. So it needs to be da, 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 da. So I'm gonna go down, down. And if I'm gonna go up, down, down, down. And I might slide that like that. So I want to do it exactly the way I hear it in my head, and that'll help me practice my solos once I get a good grasp on those pentatonic scales, on the major scales, on the major blues scales, okay? So there's the practicing scales to give you a little while to work on that, and maybe you can come back and get something in the future and start doing some chordings on your own, some musical movements on your own.